I gotta give a huge congrats to Andy Signore for breaking the story first on Fandom Wire that both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield have signed on for Spider-Man 3. Look, I had nothing to do with this. I'm not the source he's talking about because I kept my web shut because, number one, nobody would have believed me. And I'm already getting enough shit from doubters and haters. I just didn't want to deal with it. And all credit goes to Andy Signore and Riley Johnson, who was editor-in-chief at Fandom Wire, who broke the story first. I checked out his comment section on Twitter, and nobody's believing him. And I totally get how he feels, which is why I stopped scooping at one point, because it really gets tiresome when people start calling you a fraud, or you're full of shit, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this happens to me all the time, even though I've been right with a lot of things for a long time. You know, especially with what just happened to me recently, and I feel bad because when this news becomes official, some asshat will steal credit for it. Because that's just how things work. So, before I start, I need to talk about something really serious here, and it's more of a rant, so bear with me. Now, one of the main reasons as to why I stopped doing scoops is because of the constant harassments from haters that are obviously jealous of me and love nothing better to do than troll. You know, you would think with everything that's going on in the world today, with the pandemic, that these trolls would just snap out of it on trying to master their keyboard warrior skills and just chill out, have some respect. I mean, their asses must be so jealous of all the shit that comes out of their mouths, and it just makes me wish their fathers would have pulled out. I mean, look, I don't mind interacting with people or answering questions, but what I will not tolerate are these asshat twat waffles that are labeling me something that I'm not. And if you decide to fuck with me, I will fuck back so harder that your ancestors will feel it. Especially the rat fucks from Supervillain Hype that I've made my bitch and an example of on several occasions. Now, this particular rat fuck that I've made my bitch and an example of this time tried to convince people that I was never a part of these Spider-Man films. Despite the fact of all the said videos, including from Spider-Man 3 and the Amazing Spider-Man 2 red carpet premiere, in which you can clearly see me hold up my red carpet, with the after party ticket, and I'm clearly inside of the red carpet and not on the outside. I showed my NDA. Hell, I even went as far as showing my paychecks to 100% prove that I was involved in the films. And this piece of shit, after all of that, decides to make a remark about how pretty much trying to troll me on the single status, which in layman's terms means you're not married, and it does not mean that you aren't in a relationship. And it has nothing to do with the topic at hand. He was just clearly trolling. And yes, I did get messages about ignoring him because all he was trying to do is troll. So I ended up blocking him when his other sock puppet account tried pulling the same shit because nobody else was defending him. And now look, I could have spent that time focusing on others, yet it's pieces of shit like this that have nothing better to do than to try to pick on those who are successful in life because they aren't. And they try to make themselves feel better because they're living a miserable, boring life. I mean, look, I'm not the only one that has haters. And I don't know how they deal with it on a constant basis because I see it happen all the time. So people work really hard and have a lot of followers. And it's like almost every day on social media they're fighting with people who are being disrespectful. I mean, look, I know that Armin from Combo Cast gets a lot of shit. And people try to come on here complaining about him, which my response is, I don't want to hear about it because he's part of my Spider-Verse family and one of the nicest guys I'll ever meet in person. Same with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, that loves putting the haters in their place. And just like me, who always tells it like it is and never sugarcoats it, because it's just what you want to hear. Who honestly is a very nice person when I met him at New York Comic Con, and so is Akasan, who I also had the honor of meeting in New York Comic Con. I mean, look, I also love Star Wars Girl, Eric D. July, who's also known as Young Ripper 59, Doomcock, he's hilarious, he's one of my favorites. I mean, look, they're one of my favorite YouTubers because they love to tell it like it is, just like I do, and are 100% against the SJWs and represent the old-fashioned traditions that respect the original source material. Hell, these haters got so jealous of me and were wondering why New York Comic Con gave me a press badge, when in truth, I earned it because of my promotional work I did for Stanley's Book Election Days. And they also loved all my videos and told me that I should have applied years ago. That was my fault. And look, I'm also proud of my hard work to earn my way up, and no one, not even the basement dwelling trolls that still live in their mother's basement, that think they're hot shit and deserve respect because of how many posts or how many years they've been on a forum, can amount to the hard work that people do every day to work their way into the entertainment industry. Having that many posts on a forum just means you just have way too much time on your hands. They don't contribute shit, because all they do is speculate, have no sources of any industry, and just cyberbully each other anonymously. That's all they're good for. That's their contribution. Social media has seriously become a giant cesspool with nothing but disgusting, jealous people who should be supporting and respecting one another, especially during this pandemic. It's not easy to do hard work. It's easy to sit there all day on your chair and, bullshit. I mean, look, people dislike me for the same reasons. Because if you disrespect me, I will call you on it and make an example out of you. If you're like myself and trying to work hard and dealing with this kind of shit, don't do what I do. It just doesn't work out. Sometimes it comes off negatively, and my advice is just to ignore them and block them because they just want to get a rise out of you because they envy you. In the words of the Ultimate Warrior, you must show no mercy, nor have any belief whatsoever in how others judge you. For your greatness will silence them all. I don't know about the haters, but I have some very interesting stories to tell. And they won't, because sitting all day on your ass doing nothing is boring as shit. So good luck with a conversation starter, especially on a date. I know, I have a bad habit of wanting to put them in their place, who are jealous of me and just try to defame me based on slanderous made up bullshit. Also, the other thing is, I won't tolerate those of you who are trying to spam Reddit bullshit on my page constantly to try to self-promote yourself. That's not cool. I mean, I warned this person that if he continued to do so after my warning, that his ass is going to be blocked. What did he do? He continued, and I blocked his ass. Look, the main reasons as to why I started doing this to begin with was because I was sick and tired of these pooper scoopers, just giving you false hopes and information for clickbaits. It's tiresome. I mean, back then it was El Maimbe. Now it's Cosmic Book News, and we got this covered. I'm also not like any other channels where they receive news that's already out there and talk about it, because to me that's boring. That's not me. Anybody can do that. But I guess, I'm not judging. If that's what you like doing, that's fine. That's perfect. I respect that. But that's just not me. I give inside information on the past Spider-Man films, and I've been doing so for more than a decade. If you decide you don't want to believe me, even after every video that I have still on my Facebook page, I converted all my YouTube videos over to my Daily Beagle Spidey Facebook page. And if you don't believe me after that, that's perfectly fine, man. I mean, look, I always tell people, wait until the official confirmation and take everything with a grain of salt. Because as of right now, as I've explained plenty of times in my past videos, that the studios purposely sometimes release false information to keep the real information hidden. As they did when they ran that rumor that you would never see Venom in a Sam Raimi film because he hates the character. And then I got confirmation myself from Sam when I met him on set of Spider-Man 3 that he never hated the character. I told the story a million times that they just ran with that to keep Topher Grace's Eddie Brock Venom a secret. And it worked. And it turned out to be very accurate. And I ended up getting a lot of hell for it because someone sent Ain't It Cool News my set photos, which I never got credited for. Somebody stole them off my page and accused me of photoshopping the image to get attention. But I wasn't lying. What I don't understand is how is it that after more than a decade of getting accurate inside information on the past Spider-Man films, and I'm still dealing with this horse shit. That I'm a psychic and that's how I predicted every report. Yet, truth be told, if I was a psychic, I would use those powers to hit the jackpot with the lotto instead of this shit. I'm not a psychic, okay? I have sources. I've been doing it for a long time now. I even asked the asshat on Twitter if he wants my stool and urine sample next, because honestly, I don't know what else I can do to prove that I was in the films or that I have inside information. The proof is in the videos and the set photos, and there's not much I can really do. I don't have a signed statement from God saying, hey, I did it. I mean, there just seems to be bullshit excuse every time I provide evidence. I've been fully aware of the live-action Spider-Verse plans for a very long time now, which is why I tweeted the following months prior. And I fully explained everything in my fan support videos, and why is it that days before the announcement of Jamie Foxx was coming back as Electro that I posted that, and that I have an exclusive update on the live-action Spider-Verse film. Right on time. I do this all the time, where I warn people days before something major is announced, for more than a decade now, on several occasions. And I still have those videos on my Daily Bugle Spidey page, and it's in my playlist. Those of you who followed my reports for that long already are aware of this, so thank you for supporting and standing by me. And in this video, I'm going to reveal as to what the plans are for Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man. And for those of you who've watched my previous videos, I revealed something major, and because some of you don't want to be spoiled, I'll reveal at the end of this video and warn you beforehand. And next week's video, I'm going to reveal another Spider-Verse character that will receive the same exact push that Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man is getting. By the way, fans are going to go knucking futz when they find out who that character is. And I'm going to go into details as to what the plans are for that character in the live-action Spider-Verse film. So if you want to find out all the details, just suit up and join the fan support, because you're webbing out on some really webtastic news that will make J. Jonah Jameson's head spin. I'm not kidding here. And I would also like to especially thank my new supporters for the webtastic support.
Thanks, Tiger. You just hit the jackpot.